Hey, I'm Jeff the Junk Seller. This presentation is going to be about a storage unit that I bought in Spring, Texas, back in January 11th, 2023. There's a couple of good lessons in this one. I Sometimes I like to run these little experiments, and on this market, I was going to Jewett Flea Market. It's down central Texas. It's a little town. They don't have a Walmart, but the nearest Walmart I think is 40 or 50 miles from Jewett. They don't have any pawn shops. They don't have. There's really no shopping for them there. So, and it's a peasant market. You really can't sell anything that's really expensive or really valuable. Not for a decent price anyway. But I I went to this market and I went empty handed. I took my tables and I took my display cases and some valuables. I was using them more or less as a bait pile, to attract sellers, people that had similar things at home that they might want to dispose of. But I went down there with intent of buying a storage unit and to have something to sell. So I didn't take anything but my display cases, a couple of boxes of valuable stuff, and then I intended on buying a storage unit. Well, I had some difficulty finding a unit. Everything that I was bidding on, for some reason, everything was bidding too high, and I wound up getting a unit, and I went to the facility, and the girl there gave me some background information on the guy that owned the unit. He'd been some kind of college professor or something, and his unit had come overdue several times. They cut the lock, put it on sale, and every time just before auctioned, he would come in and cure the remedy the delinquency. So I had great hopes that this was gonna be a pretty good unit. I thought, well, maybe this last time I didn't know what had happened to cause him not to come in and rescue the unit. But when I got in there, I had to rent a U-Haul, and the unit was in Spring, Texas. It was 111 miles away, and I had bought a unit. I had won another unit earlier that same day, and I drove all the way out to where it was, and they had cured it on my drive there, and that was the day before, and this was the reason I was kind of pressed. I didn't have anything to sell, and I was set up at a market. So I get into this unit, and it's 111 miles away for me to go and get it. I went and rented a U-Haul trailer, and I got there and I loaded it up, and I got it back out to Jewett. I had 220 some odd miles wrapped up in it. The auction didn't end until like 1 o'clock. It was a fairly late day by the time I got back out to Jewett, and I ended up processing this unit way into the night. I mean, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm out there by lamplight, still processing this unit, and I figured out the reason that he didn't cure it this time is because he'd taken all the good stuff out. Everything that was left behind, there were parts to things. Like I had the tabletop where the table base was gone, and there was empty boxes. And the guy had been he'd been a representative for pharmaceutical stuff. A lot of KY jelly and a lot of Monostat 7. But he had free samples and a bunch of literature, and I mean, there was just a ton of stuff that I had to throw away. I mean, it wasn't worth anything anyway. But it was kind of aggravating because I by the time I paid $260 for the unit, by the time they put taxes and fees on it, I was in for $307.45. then I had trailer rental, and then I had gas, and then I had my time involved. And while I'm unpacking this unit out in this field, um, I'm not finding anything. And there were some other vendors out there that were working late into the night, and they were watching. They were coming over and observing. I had nothing. I was really frustrated. Was really worried about this unit. I felt like I'd pissed away. I think I had about $440 into it by the time I got it moved, and I felt like I'd just pissed away $440 because I wouldn't find anything. And I got all the way down to the third to the last box, and I started finding some papers, and this was his mother's stuff. And I found papers that were related to her employment with I believe it was National Airlines, and I found early 1954. I found her work badge, her pass. I found photographs of them in the office. I found a newsletter and some other photographs. A letter of recommendation when she left that employment and was out looking for new employment. They gave her a good recommendation. All of this was from the 1950s, and any of the National Airlines is a defunct airline. Anytime you can get that old stuff, I felt like this was probably not very many documents, and they'll be presented here, and they were worth I still feel like they were probably worth a couple $100, maybe $150, $200 for them all. I haven't had any luck selling them, but I have offered them a couple of times. And a lot of people that collect airline stuff, they don't even know National Airlines. It's been defunct, I think, since the 80s. But then I started finding jewelry, and she had married a man from Lebanon back in the 50s. Her name badge from the airlines had her previous name scratched out and had this Arabic name written in the end of it as her new surname. And I started finding jewelry, and it was Lebanese jewelry. There's some coin bracelets in there that the coins I think were 1929, and they actually, it's unfortunate that they were soldered onto a bracelet because they're actually fairly rare coins. I think the mintage on it was only 450,000 pieces, and I think I've got 29 of these coins soldered into the two bracelets. I found some good gold bracelets. I ended up, this was French gold. The French had a heavy presence in Lebanon all the way up until I think probably the 30s or the 40s. And there was some great French jewelry in there. And probably from the 1840s or so. And I couldn't get any kind of premium on it. I wound up scrapping that stuff. It was 18 karat gold, and I couldn't even get anybody. Everybody wanted to pay me 60 or 70% of its scrap value, and I have a scrapper that pays me 92%. So I wound up scrapping it. I was at Warrenton, and I had jewelry dealers that were trying to haggle me out of the stuff below melt. They were trying to get it from me for below 90%, and I just wasn't willing to do it. And I got tired of carrying it around, and I needed some money one time, so I wound up scrapping it. And I watched the guy put it in the kiln, to melt it down. And it was kind of sad to see it, because this jewelry was, it was 180 years old. It was fantastic stuff, beautiful stuff. I'll have pictures of it here, but I got all the way down to the end of this unit. It was all the way to the third to the last box before I found anything, and it was only in that single box that there was anything. And I believe that the guy went into his own unit and took everything of value out of there. He thought he took everything of value out of there, but he missed a box. And that's the stuff that I'm presenting here. But if you enjoyed this presentation, please give me a like, and if you use some of the other material and you appreciate that, then please subscribe. But thank you for viewing.